I literally just walked into his house, logged into his computer, and started playing Sim Farm. He wasn't even there. And his dad comes by and says, "What are you doing?" He literally just looks at me and says, "What are you doing?" Then he's like, "Leave." And so I got up, and I was so embarrassed because I was so oblivious. This is, I just wanted to play Sim Farm. It was really embarrassing. But, you know, I was just like using him to play Sim Farm. Have any of you guys ever experienced a friendship like that? We just have, I like to hang out with him because we have a good time. You know, our thing is to talk about soccer. Maybe our thing is to go to the movies together. Our thing is to play video games together. The only thing that bonds the two people is how they're useful to each other, right? These friendships of usefulness and pleasure, I think, play themselves out. You can tell when they're the main part of the relationship because we have this phenomenon called peer pressure in our society, right? Peer pressure, you guys ever peer pressure? And you're not going to get away with having to watch a YouTube video. So brace yourselves. This YouTube video shows peer pressure, but it's also hilarious. Because it's from like the 70s. And it's like a public service announcement, but it's a Mr. T public service announcement. It's kind of longer, so sit back and enjoy. I wish I had popcorn for you. It's all about peer pressure. This is going to illustrate my point.
Everyone wants to be accepted by the group, but that doesn't mean you have to accept everything the group does.
I love like the close-ups when they show the first person point of view, the little kid, and everyone's like smoking in his face, and like drinking, and they're like coughing in his face. It's really overdone. But so we have this phenomenon called peer pressure there. we have these friends in our lives that try to get us to do things, for who knows what reason. But more often than not, when they're pushing us to do things and we're resisting, there can be a lot of different reasons, but I'll just throw a couple at you. Number one, if you do it too, it'll make them feel better about it. Right? They have this sense that maybe it's not right, so they push you to do it too. Number two, if they get you to do it, they're going to look really dumb, and it's going to entertain them. Right? Like most of the peer pressure videos I found when I was researching this stuff were like kids falling through the ice or falling off playground equipment, and their friends are like, just jump, and then like face plant, or they just get soaked and get pneumonia, and then they laugh at it. Why did you got pneumonia? These are really obvious cases of friends trying to get friends to do the wrong thing, right? But these friendships, they're selfish, right? If all you do is get pleasure out of the people, or they're just useful to you, you're just using them, there's kind of the selfishness to it, right? You're not really interested in the other person. You just like to get whatever you get out of it. The entertainment. I have this friend. She's adorable. She's a wonderful person. But sometimes she'll just smile and say, make me laugh. It's like, what? She's a good person, but she doesn't even realize she does it, I think. Just make me laugh. Do something funny. It's like, no, and that always irks me. It's like, there's more to me than that. I'm not just here to entertain you, to make you happy, you know? So what is there in true friendship that's essential and different? What's the really good quality? What are we really looking for in these other people? How many of you want to have friends? Raise your hand if you want to have friends. Everyone, if you want to have friends. Brian? Yeah, Brian's. Okay, we have this kind of like inkling in our heart. I want to have friends. I want to have relationships. I want to have these other people in my life. But what do we truly want from those people? What are we hoping for in those people? What draws us? Why do we have this inkling? Why can't we just be fine by ourselves? Why not? Why do we all have this one? I think the reason number one is we want to have acceptance. Reason number two, we realize that having other people in our life brings a richness and fullness to it. And number three, we realize this life is a lot harder when we go at it alone. And this moves us not only to get support from other people, but also to want to support others. So I'm not like, this is hard, so I just need to get people in my life. But if it's hard for me, that means it's hard for them too. And so I want to be there for them. How many of you want to be known as the friend that just wants to use Sim Farm? Nobody, right? How many of you wants to be the friend that just comes by when they feel like it? Oh, you know, Lily, Sarah, Chris, they come by when they want to. But if they don't feel like it, they just don't want to be around you. How many of you want to be that friend? Nobody, right? How many of you want to be that person when your close friends are having a horrible day? How many of you want to be the person that they come to talk to? That they come to find support in? That they think of in those hard times? Yeah, most of us want to be there. We have this desire to be there for each other, to reach out to each other. And so these are the keys in friendship, this sharing life, being of one heart, a sense of living together, not just in the same house, but having the sense of being togetherness, of connectedness. The best friends help us to form a true image of ourselves. The best friends help us to form a true image of ourselves. They don't try to make us be like them. They don't try to make us in their image and likeness. They try to make us help us be ourselves, just who we are. They don't put pressure on us to do things that we don't want to do. The best friends are forgiving. They love unconditionally. They're supporting and they're present to us, right? But the best friends balance all this support and love and care with challenges. Right? If I have a friend and I see they're one night we go and have 1 or 2 drinks together. You know, the next morning they wake up and have a drink, and then that day they have 3 drinks, the next day they have 4 drinks, the day after that they have 5 drinks, the day after that they have 6 drinks, the day after that they have 7 drinks, 8 drinks, 9 drinks, until they're up like to 15 drinks a day in the course of 3 weeks. You know, and it's getting close to the point where like they're gonna have to get their stomach pumped every day. What kind of a friend am I if I don't challenge that? Dude, I think you're drinking too much. You need to get a handle on yourself. You know, you're gonna kill yourself if you keep this up. This is an extreme example, right? But the best friends aren't just there for each other, but they call each other on to be virtuous. The best friends call each other on to be virtuous. They're not just with each other, but they try to make the other person be the best version of themselves. And how does this mostly play out? I think it plays out in the context of conversation. Good conversation. It's in conversation that I open up, that I share myself where I am in my life. It's in conversation that I learn things about the other friend. It's in conversation that I'm challenged. It's in conversation that I get those words of affirmation. You might still be saying, Andrew, this is all really like obvious and basic. Like, why are you wasting our time with this? You know, when we talk about it and we spread it out this way and we talk about the specifics, it seems kind of obvious. But the hard gap to breach is in our actual day-to-day lives. Who are the people we're relating with? Who are the people we're spending our time with? And how is that affecting me? How is that affecting me? Are there people in your life trying to get you to do things you don't want to do, pressuring you to hurt yourself in some different way, to break your values? Are there friends in your life that you feel just want to be around you when they're going to entertain them? That just want to be around you because of your Xbox? Just want to be around you because you're great? You know, are there friends in your life that you never really have a real conversation with? It's always just like, yeah, we hate the Yankees or the Patriots or some team that everybody hates except a few people. Or like, how about the weather? Or what's our homework assignment? Like, did you spend all your time with these people who there's no real like meat to the conversation, no real substance to it? And I think if we put all of our stock in these kind of relationships, we might end up pretty empty, unfulfilled. I look back in time, all the way back to high school, and I don't do it perfectly now. I'm not like some good example. But because I've been willing to open up to people and share my life, and I have this horde of people in my life that know everything about me, that I've been able to share my deepest, darkest secrets, my greatest hopes, my greatest successes. I have a richness in my life. I can travel to 8 different states, and I have a friendship like this with somebody that lives there. You know, there's people in my life that I can call, and at the drop of the pen, they'll be there to talk to me, no matter what I'm going through. But for me to nurture these friendships, to have these friendships grow in my life, it took, number 1, sacrifice, and it took, number 2, investment. Sacrifice, because there's a lot of people that I like to spend time with just because I want to have a good time. If I kept just playing Sim Farm with my buddy Pete, if I kept just, playing Halo for hours, if I kept just, drinking or whatever, I would never nurture these friendships. And if in these relationships, if I wasn't willing to open up and be vulnerable, to share myself, to be like, man, I really struggle with this. I've had conversations where I've gone into it thinking, after I tell this person this about myself, they're not going to want to be around me anymore. They're not going to want to be my friend anymore when they know this. Because they're going to be like, dude, you're messed up. I am out the door. Right? But what I found is every time I've opened up to somebody and shared of myself and grown in a relationship in this way and been available to them to grow in a relationship, I found a closer friendship. We've grown closer together. And I found a real sense of intimacy. And so I want to challenge you guys to really take